Welcome to the Connected Leaders Academy virtual conference designed to reshape your vision of transformation. As we navigate the evolving business landscape, our speakers will unveil innovative strategies to manage and initiate change. Prepare to adapt, innovate, and lead, ensuring your role as a catalyst in this transformative era.
Thank you, everyone. This is Dr. Mary Edosomwan, the Executive Director for the Center for Grief and Wholeness. Our journey here is to take everyone through grief to a place of wholeness. My talk today is centered around the twin goals of human existence. The twin goal of human existence. This is a roadmap to reboot your mindset and to create a successful life with the end in mind. In the grand overview of human existence, there are two twins team that stands as a chronometer in the journey of our life, and that is life and death. These twin goals shape our aspirations, dreams, and fears and philosophy. They are the milestones that define our time here on earth. And as such, living well and dying well encapsulate the very essence of human, what it means to be human. As we navigate through trials and tribulations of life, we continually strive for fulfillment, happiness, in fact, to leave a legacy that outlives us. But at the same time, when we face the inevitable end, we also seek dignity. We seek grace and peace and harmony in our latter years of life. This exploration dives into the profound benefits of both those that is facing the end of life and those that have to grieve them after they are gone. When death remains a taboo, especially in America, it fosters fear and anxiety. So therefore, we need to have an open discussions about mortality that help demystify the process, making it more meaningful in our day-to-day living. Understanding what to expect can also reduce fear and provide comfort. It also helps us to reflect with what our life has been and the relationship we've had and how to mend those relationships, because tomorrow is not promised to anyone. Open discussion about death also enable informed end-of-life decisions, such as creating advanced directives, choosing hospice or stay home. Moreover, normalizing conversation about death also provide a supportive environment for those grieving, helping to alleviate the feeling of loneliness and compounded grief and depressions. Addressing death provides a framework for mourning, allowing the loved ones to prepare emotionally, psychologically for the loss and to facilitate the healing process from a death cry to a place of wholeness. Talking about death can also evoke fear, strong emotions such as sadness, which people may prefer to avoid. Despite all these tendencies, there are movements already going on in America, in our communities today, such as the death positive movements. They are creating awareness to open up conversations about mortality. From a personal experience with debt and lessons learned through the many clients from the Center for Grief and Wholeness, I feel a mandate to add my voice to the public service announcement that encourages everyone to live their lives with the end in mind. So let's talk a little bit about embracing death and managing grief. In the biblical text, Hebrews, for example, 9:27, it says that it is appointed unto every man to die once. But after that comes judgment. This verse highlights the inevitability of death and the subsequent judgment by God. I'll let you know that God created death. Everyone has an appointment that only He has already predetermined, young and old. This appointment is unavoidable, that every individual will have to face that appointment. You cannot be late and you cannot put it off. And this appointment is also have to come to everyone on the surface of this earth, regardless of the culture, age, color of skin, socioeconomics level, geographical location, or any other circumstances we may find ourselves. The acknowledgements, this acknowledgement serve as a reminder to all of us to really be careful with the way we live. And that in the words of Charles Hurston, he said, the world is a tough place. You are not going to get through it alive. So get to a place of worship as quickly as possible. Talking about grief, according to the World Population Review, 8,990 people die every day in the United States of America. This is a staggering figure translating to 348 deaths per hour. And with the 345,437,000 population in 2024. So I say to you, these deaths may not have occurred in the way anyone would have imagined. But regardless of how it happened, the people left behind has got to go through the grief. Some may survive, some may not. Also assume that there are two people in the epicenter, in which we know there are more than two people, mother, father, or brother or sister. They are more in the nucleus of some family. So if we just take two people, you will see that approximately 18,000 people are grieving the loss of their loved one every single day in America. Sadly, many of these bereaved has not had any preparation in dealing with death and dying. They have not had any preparation in death. For some, it's the first time someone major, a patriarch of their family is going to die. And they don't know what to do. Realize that when death happens, those that are affected are thrown in a space of uncharted water. With my personal experience, if I know what I know now, I could have managed my grief so much better. My educational background, my career, my faith, and role in the church as a first lady did not spare me from the pain of grief and loss. So years ago, I had a vision to study grief and loss, death and dying. This vision came at a time of my journey through unimaginable grief of my life when I lost my son, my only son. So I decided, as a part of my journey, to finish what he has started because he was in the School of Divinity. I tell you, I remember the day so vividly. It was a normal Saturday like this, October 7, 2011. I woke up with excitement, making travel plans as a women's conference speaker for a conference that evening, about 3 hours from Fairfax, traveling through the city where my son was in school. I had planned to drop off care package, as I always do, to him on my way back. But later that evening, I will find out that my only son, my best friend, my confidant, has departed from this earth to heaven without even saying a goodbye. I remember saying to myself repeatedly, can this be true? Is this true? In my disbelief, all I could say was, is my son gone? As if I was looking for someone to give me another affirmation, yes or no, but who would dare tell me? He left me without a word, without a cell phone call, without text messages. He was gone. He was gone without asking for my opinion. We did everything together without asking for my advice. He was gone without debating his scriptural knowledge. He likes to demonstrate his newfound profound knowledge about God and the insight in biblical study. All that stuff, he was gone. He let go of the plan for a new car that we had promised him at his 25th birthday, which we celebrated just the week before. He let go of the plan for the business that was about to open. He was so passionate about eating well and living well, and the business was, the space and everything was ready. He was gone. Without any hesitation, all memories of me and his sibling sisters faded away. He was gone like a leaf falling from the tree without announcement, without applause. He was gone like a vapor that appeared for a while and vanishes away. So my reaction, this will be my first reaction to acute grief. I have had anticipated grief with my mother and father and those elders in my family, but this will be the first time. My heart broke into so many pieces to count. I felt blood literally rushing from my heart into my stomach. I was awoken with the reality of my loss. And my body, my spirit, and my soul separated because it was overwhelmed with grief. I became a zombie. I participated in the funeral service and the repast. I was just going through the motion. But it was faith in God that will lead me to a journey from death cry to wholeness. When I heard the voice to go back to school to finish what he has started. You see, there are many ways to heal But when you are led by the Spirit, you may not understand it like I did. I did not understand it at a time that God was doing something with me and through me. So on my first day at his school, lo and behold, I heard a voice that says, I will complete a PhD in death and dying, grief and loss. Here I am traveling over an hour or more, 2 hours to go to school. Every Friday, Saturday, people thought I was crazy, but I was just following my inner, what God was downloading to me. And that first day when he told me I would do my PhD in grief and loss, death and dying, I was beside myself. I didn't know what to do. The school did not have grief and loss. So I kept on going, doing what I'm doing, filing that instruction at the back of my mind. I kid you not, the summer semester before my graduation, another professor will bring grief and loss into the campus and got hold of me in the library, telling me all about this class, wanting me to register, and which I did. I did not only finish that course, I became a TA. I went on to do my PhD, teaching that same class at the university level. And I'm grateful that this experience of acute grief is the worst anyone can feel, because you may have breakfast with somebody this morning. Only 2 hours later, you get a phone call to say they are dead. What do you do? Without faith in God, you can't move forward. In my many experiences of anticipatory grief, this is the name given to a set of feelings or reactions that occur with people who are expecting or know that they will die. Many of them are in the hospitals, hospice, and all that. But facing the decline of our loved one, those of us surrounding them have this denial that they are not going to die. And that is coming from the fact that we don't discuss death. Otherwise, we see their frailty, we see the decline in their head, we know they will not survive without the tube in their nose, in their stomach, in the neck, wherever tube can fit in the hospital, you see it all. But yet we are in denial. So when time comes to remove life support and the feeding tube, suddenly our heart break and we realize, like the metaphor of a closing curtain in a play, that the end is inevitably here. However, I am saying to you that anticipatory grief is becoming, the disadvantages that is becoming the fast number one depletion of family savings. The cost of keeping people alive because of the high technological, pharmaceutical care is astronomical. In the literature put out by NIH, he says that in the 21st century, dying has become the number one costless hair care event in America and in the emerging worlds, in the civilized worlds. And therefore, what does that mean? Many families become bankrupt. Some of them have to sell their home. It is all wonderful, but it is because of our denial and our inability to accept death as a part of what God designed. He said in the book of Genesis, and when he created Adam and Eve, there was consequences to disobedience. And when they disobey, death entered into the world through Adam and Eve. And since then, people come and people go. So here I'm saying that to reboot your mindset, we need to think and to bring conversation about death into not only at the hospital or hospice, but let's discuss it in a community center. Let's discuss it in our living room. Let's make all the preparation with the end in mind so that the people that you leave behind will not have to suffer too much. Finally, I want to remind everyone that living with the end in mind is different from everyone, but there are common traits, such as have yourself or develop a support system. Surround yourself with supportive people who can provide encouragement, who can be there for you during your process of healing. Cultivate spiritual practices like forgiveness. Hold no grudges. Stop the inner negative talks. Count your blessings. It is important that we learn to count our blessing. Also, let's remember what the Bible said about what we are supposed to be thinking about each and every day. Whatsoever things are just, whatsoever things are pure, whatsoever things have good report, and whatsoever things are lovely, if there be any virtue, let us think about these things. Emotional healing can be accelerated when you have the right people with you. Seeking that emotional healing by having a support person, a therapist, a grief counselor, a trusted friend to deal with your past trauma and the grief and the pain of grief is critical. Like a coin, take a 20-cent coin that has both sides. One side is love, the other side is the grief pain. To the extent that you love, you will grieve. I am blessed to have survived, but there are many who have gone through the same journey that I have. If not for God, that are no longer here, that I'm here. And that is why I am passionate about discussing death. That is why I'm passionate about self-care. That's why I'm passionate about living and for us to reboot our mindset with the end in mind. So please practice forgiveness. Hold no grudges. Tomorrow is not promised to anyone. And I wish you all a wonderful life. And let us remember, with the end in mind, let us live our lives. Thank you all so very much. It is a pleasure to have been here for the opportunity to minister and to talk with you all today. May the Lord bless each and every one. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for participating in today's enlightening session. As we transition to our next expert, remember that each strategy and insight is a step toward becoming a transformative leader in your field. Visit connectedleadersacademy.com to stay engaged and informed. The journey of change is ongoing. Let's move forward together.